All right, you need to turn in your math journal to page 167, and we are going to talk about comparing and ordering decimals. Before we actually start doing the page, you are probably going to want to have a piece of paper off to the side where you can create a little chart. And your chart is basically going to be a place for you to put the tenths, maybe, the hundredths, the thousandths, the ones, tens, the hundreds. All right. Now, when we compare and we order decimals, we're trying to basically see which one is greater than or less than. Or if we're going to order them, we're putting them in order from smallest to largest or largest to smallest. And in order to do that, you need to be able to look at their place value. So having a place value chart is very easy for you to be able to put the numbers into the chart and then compare them. So if you look at number 1, it says 4.735. So I would write 4.375. And then the next number is 4.74. Now, what you do is you look to see, starting on the side, on the left side of the decimal in the ones, tens, or hundreds, you start looking there and we compare the numbers. So the fours are exactly the same. So we move to the next number. We have the tenths. Well, in this case, the 7 is larger than the 3, so that means that 4.74 is larger than 4.375. All right, this number is bigger than this number, so that means this whole number is larger than this one because this is 74 hundredths, and this is 375 thousandths, which is smaller than 74 hundredths. All right, so that means that we would say that 4.735 is less than 4.74. All right, so the next one we would put 2.549 and then 2.549. Now, when we look at these two numbers, what happens? They're the exact same. So we're going to put an equal sign because they are equal. All right, let me erase some of these. Not the best drawing, but all right, next one. We have 3.207 and 3.027. All right, the 3's are the same. So we go to the tenths column and we take a look, and the 2 is larger than the 0. So this number, 3.207, is larger than 3.027. So we would say that this is greater than, and we would go this direction. All right. I want you to pause your video and go ahead and do numbers 4 through 6. All right, welcome back. So you should have done 4 through 6 already. We're going to go ahead and look at those answers. All right, so if I put 825 in and 8250 in, and I compare, 8s are in the same, 2s are the same, 5s are the same. There's a 0 here, but what is actually here also? 0 is a placeholder for nothing, and this is nothing. So these numbers are exactly the same. So we're going to put an equal sign. All right. Next one, 5.871 and 5.781. Okay, we look at the 5s. They are the same. We look at the 8 and the 7, and we have the 8 is larger. So that means that this number, 5.871, is larger. So we say 5 and 871 thousandths is greater than 5 and 781 thousandths. All right. And then our last one, number 6, we have 9.36 and 9359. All right. Now, when we look at this, these numbers are so close because if we rounded, this number would round this number up to 6, but they haven't rounded yet. So we have to look at what we have. So 9s are the same, 3s are the same, and 6 is greater than 5. So the way that these are written, they are 9.36 is a little bit bigger than 9.359. But for an assignment, we might have to be rounding to the nearest hundredth. And if we rounded to the nearest hundredth, this 9 would make this 5 become a 6. And this would end up being 9.36, and they would be equal if we were rounding to the nearest hundredth. But we were not. This is in the thousandths. This is in the hundredths. So we have to take what we have there. So this would be a 9 and 36 hundredths is greater than 9 and 359 thousandths. All right. Now, looking down at number 7. Here we're going to order these from greatest to least. So we need to look at these numbers and figure out which one is the largest all the way down to the, let me get rid of the lines, all the way down to the smallest. So I'm going to write the numbers 3.008, and I'm going to make sure my decimal points are lined up. 3.825, and then 3.09 and 3.18. All right, notice that all of my decimals are lined up, and I'm going to take a look at each column. The ones column, we have everything the same. The tenths column, we need to look at. All right, we're doing greatest to least, so we want to look for the largest number here. And 3.825, the 8 is bigger than the other numbers, so we know that this is the largest number. So this will be our number 1. So over here, I'm going to go ahead and write 3.825 and then a comma. Now, the next greatest number would be the one that has a 1 in the 10th space. So this would be number 2. So I'm going to go 3.825, and then a comma. Now, the next greatest number would be the one that has a 1 in the 10th space. So this would be number 3. So I'm going to go 3.825, and then a comma. So I'm going to go 3 0.18 with a comma. And now I have zeros left. So I'm done with the tenths column. So if I want to cross that out so that I know that I'm done there. And now I go look at, and I'm done with this particular one, and I'm done with this particular one because I've already placed them. Then I only have 3.09 left and 3.008. So I'm going to go to the hundredths column, and I'm going to look in this column, and I see that the 9 is bigger. The 9 is the largest number, so 3.09 is next. And then what I have left is 3.008. All right, so that is your numbers from greatest to smallest, greatest to least. Go ahead and pause the video and do number 8 on your own. All right, welcome back. We're going to do number 8 together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to line up these numbers so that we can compare the digits to see which one is the largest. So we have 0.386. Whoops. And then we have 0.3, which means there would be zeros behind it. And then we have 0.683. And lastly, we have 0.836. All right, so we start off and we compare the digits in the tenths column. So we look here and we notice that the 8 is the largest number. So that is our first number that we're going to place, 0.836. The second largest digit is the 6. So this would be number 1, and this would be number 2. So 683.683. And then we look at the 3s. These are the exact same, so we move to the next column, which is, I probably shouldn't use a dot because we might think it's a decimal point. So we're going to look at the starred column. All right, we know this one we've already written down, and we've already written down this one, so we can cross those out. So we're just comparing the 8 and the 0. So this one, 8 is larger than 0. So 0.386 or 386 thousandths is larger than 0.3, 3 tenths. So our answers from largest to smallest are right there. Okay. All right, next, number 9. We are going to find the missing digit. There's an unknown digit, and we have to look at this. So this is going from largest to smallest. So I'm going to go ahead and do exactly what we did a second ago, and I'm going to label them, or I'm going to write them down in order. So we have 2.48, we have 2.4, we have we have 2.4 blank 1, and then we have 2.463. Okay, now when I'm comparing these, this is going to make it very easy because I've laid it out here, and I can look to see the 2s are all the same, the 4s are all the same. Here we have the largest number 8, the smallest number 6. These are in order from greatest to least. So what number has to go here? A number that comes between 6 and 8. So our answer here would be 7. All right. Go ahead and pause the video and do number 10 and number 11. Write them out and figure out what number, what digit goes in that spot. All right, welcome back. We're going to do number 10. So I'm going to write down the problem or the numbers, 5.723 and then 5.72 unknown and then 5.725. All right, 5's column, everything's the same. 7 column, everything the same. The 100th column, I shouldn't say 7th column. The 2 in the 100th column is the same. So we're looking at the 1000th column. We have a 3, we have a 5. All right. So these are less than, so this is going from smallest to largest. So what digit goes in between 3 and 5? And that would be a 4. Notice this is less than, so we were going from smallest to largest. Okay. And then the next number, 11, we have 7.64. These are going from smallest to largest again. 7.5 and 7.68. All right. So what number would have to go in place here? We're going from smallest to largest. We have 4, 5, 8 here. So only one number of all the digits, so only one digit can go in this spot right here. And it has to be a 6, because anything less than that would make this no longer the middle number, and anything greater than a 6 would make it no longer the middle number. So our answer here would be a 6. This makes this the smallest to the largest. All right, there we go, 6. All right, I'm going to read problem number 12 to you, and then I want you to try it out. Number 12, the completion times for 3 runners in a 100-yard dash are 9.75, seconds, 9.7 seconds, and 9.675 seconds. Which is the least time? Go ahead and pause the video and write down your answer. All right, welcome back. You should have an answer written down for number 12. Well, if we compare these and we look at the tenths column, we will notice that there's a 6 here and 7's here. This number is smaller, so that makes this whole number smaller. So our answer here should be 9.675 seconds. All right, number 13. I'm going to read that to you, and then you're going to pause and do the work. In a discus competition, an athlete threw the discus 63.37 meters, 62.95 meters, and 63.7 meters. Order the distance from least to greatest. So smallest to largest is what you're going to do, okay? And this is not written smallest to largest at this time. That's what your assignment is. Go ahead and pause it and do number 13. All right, welcome back. We are trying to go smallest to largest. So we're going to look at our columns. 6s are all the same. I'm going to go ahead and cross those out. The next column in the ones column, we are going to look, and I see a 2. That's small. So that's going to be the smallest number that we have. So I'm going to write 62.95. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that number so that I'm not confused. So now we're done with 6, 3, and 3, same. So we move on to the tenths column here, and we look for the next smallest number, and that would be a 3 because we're going smallest to largest. So our next number would be 63.37. Cross that off, which leaves just this left. So our largest number would be 63.7. All right. And number 14, write a word problem that can be solved by ordering 3 decimals to the thousandths and include a solution. So you're going to make a problem that's just like the one we just did here, that goes to the thousandths. So that means it needs to be 1, 2, 3 past the decimal. All right, so create a word problem that has numbers where you're going to order them either smallest to largest or largest or largest to smallest. You may decide, and you can make them go out to the thousandth, so 3 past the decimal. All right, go ahead and pause and write down your answer.